All right, we'll start here in just a second. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start. So, hey, everybody, if you're watching this live, drop a quick hello or wave in the chat so I know you're here. Tell me what platform you're currently posting on, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. Tonight, I'm sharing something that's changing how I think about growth. It's important because it's my 5-month platform challenge experiment. It's real, it's in progress right now, and it's already made my content more clear, faster, and honestly more fun to create every day. So, what I'm doing is I'm actually posting on one platform at a time. So, here's the simple rule. Instead of trying to post everywhere all at once, which is what I tried in the very beginning, I pick one platform per month and concentrate on that. I post out on it every day. I study what gets watched, what gets replies, and what gets ignored. I pay attention to what the platform rewards, and also I adjust daily. So by focusing on one platform, that allows me to do that. I'm not so scattered that I don't know what's going on. Then when the month ends, I rotate to the next platform with real lessons, not guesses, and a better skill set for everybody. So what was really interesting is I started doing this in November with YouTube, and also wanted to do it with YouTube Shorts. So if you can't post every day on YouTube, then you might want to think about trying to go with YouTube Shorts because it's a little bit easier to post every day. Um, and I'll be honest with you, this was a little harder than posting everywhere because you're really focused on one platform. So you can't hide. You can't blame the algorithm on the other five. I mean, you can't blame the algorithm of the other apps because you know exactly which one you're posting to. You have to you have to actually learn in one environment and understand the platform you're posting on. So, like I said, I started out off with YouTube. Then I went to TikTok for a month in December, and then Instagram now, and I'm going to be doing no, I'm doing LinkedIn now, and I'm going to be doing Instagram and Facebook over the next 2 months. So if you're here live, hang with me. And at the end, I'm going to ask you one question you can answer with one word in chat tonight, too. So that's the best way to get conversations going. Most of us start the same way. We hear repurpose everything, be everywhere, post daily on every platform. But so we try to do TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook all at the same times, all on the same day. And for a little while, it feels like you're productive. But the truth is, you're splitting your attention, your energy, and your learning. So you don't exactly know what's working for what platform. You're busy, but you're not building mastery of momentum and consistency. Week after week, eh, you never know what's going on. And that was me. And that's why I decided I needed to go to just concentrate on one platform. It didn't mean I wasn't posting on other platforms. I went ahead and I repurposed that all my content on all the other platforms too. It's just for that month, I made that content specifically for that platform. And when I looked up, I realized I was learning each platform a little more deeply. My content no longer felt rushed, and I didn't have to worry about none of the platforms really understanding me because I wasn't just inconsistent everywhere. I was focused on one platform. And what that taught me was how to succeed on that one platform. Hey there, how you doing? But hey there, World Star Fight, how you doing? Um, but by posting on that one platform, I learned so much about that platform, and it also went up. Hey there, yeah. Hey there, real team cookied. Cool kid. Oh, cool kid. I'm a sub. Oh, hey, how you doing? Um, so what I would do is I would learn that platform, but as I learned that platform, I was learning skills that other um that I could take to the other platforms as well. And so when I was learning about TikTok and learning how to be more concise and learning how to keep my ideas quick, I could utilize that in YouTube, and it was very helpful. Um, when I first started, I felt like I was spraying content and praying something would stick. That's kind of what we do as photographers. Sometimes we do a spray and play method, or a spray and pray method, where we just click on the shutter and we take pictures of whatever we can. But the problem is focus. You never know where you're growing. You never know what's actually working. All right, all right. Well, we'll see you later. Cool, real team, cool kid. Thanks for coming. This will be in on YouTube, so you can come back and reference it later too. Um, but growth usually doesn't come from doing more. Hey there, Rosaliana, 12. How you doing? Nice to see you. That's why this experiment matters. It forces you to stay put long enough to learn what's real and separate the noise from something that you can actually get accomplished. So, what? Pretty good. How are you? What platforms are you guys posting on now? Because what you'll find is if you're trying to do too many platforms at once, it's getting you a little too spread out. And here's the turning point that made me realize that every platform is like a different language. And what I mean by that, it's the same human, same. I'm the same person. I have the same message, but there are different rules, and each platform rewards things differently. So it's still you're still allowed to make mistakes. You're still allowed to repeat. And you still get feedback, but then you improve one platform per month. And by the end of the 5 months, you've mastered all or know a lot more about how to post on each platform. So I started rewarding platforms I started labeling platforms by the way they were rewarded, kind of like a cheat sheet. So for YouTube, rewards clarity, structure, and long form thinking. For TikTok, it rewards speed, pattern recognition, and constant testing. And then for LinkedIn, it's more of a conversation reward, you trust and reply back. So if you're on LinkedIn, it's going to help you engage in conversations on different platforms as well. And once you see that, Facebook rewards local connection, and Instagram rewards visuals and vibes and storytelling in short bursts. So each one of those things, once you master those, gets a little better, a little bit easier. So once you see that posting everywhere stops sounding so smart and starts sounding a little more scattered. So once you concentrate on what you're posting and why you're posting, you can probably choose on the purpose without guessing every time. So here's kind of my framework. One platform, 1 month, one post every day. And every month is an experiment. Hey there, Killian Johnson, how you doing? every month is an experiment, not a performance. So I'm not chasing viral. I'm chasing learning. I mean, I almost think that one of the worst things that could happen to any of us is to go viral, because if we don't know what we're doing yet, we really can't take advantage of it. That's not to say we don't want to go viral later. Of course we do, but we had better know how to take advantage of it, or it's going to be a wasted opportunity. Right now, I care less about views and more about questions like, what does the platform reward, or what style of content holds attention on that platform, or what makes people reply, and what do I actually enjoy creating without burning out or quitting after 2 weeks. Like before, I'm serious for myself. And so when you're doing this every day, um, if you don't enjoy it, it's going to be quite the grind. So month one for me was YouTube, and YouTube taught me clarity. I had to slow down a little bit. I had to explain ideas clearly. I had to structure my thinking, put things into chapters. I couldn't just ramble and hope it worked. YouTube forced me to be a better storyteller, taught me how to teach a little better, and taught me in systems. So even my photography got better because I had to explain kind of why I chose a lens, why I chose a composition, why I chose a time of day, and an edit for a viewer every day. And so that's important, because the other thing it taught me is you can't, when you answer questions or when you're telling people how to do things, you need to keep it to one topic, just one for that video. And that's very important because people can only handle so much. And the other thing is, you don't want to tell them everything all at once. You want to leave room for them to ask a question, because that conversation is what helps grow your coverage. It helps get you more views. It helps get your content distributed better. But after YouTube, I moved to TikTok, and TikTok humbled me fast. It's probably my least favorite platform. TikTok doesn't care about polish, which I like, but it's all about speed and pattern and hooks. It trained me to make faster decisions and to test more ideas and stop overthinking. And, overthinking is probably one of the things we do the most. It also made me comfortable with failure, because some of the videos flopped a lot. And then some of them were right to the point, and I got high volumes of feedback quickly. And it was very interesting because sometimes something would succeed on TikTok and then it wouldn't succeed on YouTube, and vice versa. So the shorts would depend on what the subject was. It would depend on what the title was. You just never knew. And now I'm on LinkedIn, and it's totally different, because LinkedIn isn't about views, it's about conversations. So, but they're all very important, and that conversation view is an important one to learn for the rest of the platforms, because again, it helps you get reach. It helps you get more viewers and more views. One reply can be worth more than 10,000 views on LinkedIn, because it helps distribute your video or your post, because it starts a relationship. I learned that posts aren't performances, they're invitations to talk. So I treat the comments like the main event, not the afterthought. So it's really something that I've had to focus on. And this is why the experiment works. Each platform teaches you a different skill you can reuse everywhere, forever right now. But if you don't learn each platform, you don't know what's going on, and you won't know where to focus and what to do. The big shift for me was realizing that consistency beats volume. So while posting it everywhere felt productive, but it actually made my learning slower, because I didn't know how to focus. I didn't know what was going to work on one platform or the other. By staying on one platform, I could see patterns, recognize what worked, and fix mistakes quickly. So when I made a mistake, I could recover. Instead of guessing across 5 apps, I could study one algorithm, one audience, and one style of content. That was important because that focus saved me energy. It sharpened my thinking and made my growth feel intentional rather than random every day. So I don't know if you've experienced that or not, but now when I post, I'm not obsessing over raw view counts like I used to. I'm asking better questions like, did people past watch past the first few seconds? Because that's important. That helps get your video out there. And did I enjoy making the content? Because if you're doing it every day, you better like it, or you're not going to be able to continue to do it. The goal isn't popularity. The goal is building a sustainable, creative habit that actually helps improve over time consistently. So, basically, if you're implementing this strategy, you're in it for the long haul. You pretty much know that it could be up to 5 months before things really start going well for you. But that's okay because you need to learn everything that you don't know. You need to learn how to do the edits. You need to learn how to post on that platform. And posting every day compresses that learning into a much shorter timeline. Instead of posting once a week and waiting for feedback, you can get real data daily. And that's very helpful. That repetition builds muscle memory. My hooks are sharper, my explanations get more clear, and my confidence grows. Daily posting isn't about volume, it's about deliberate practice that compounds over weeks and months into real skill. And that's really the main point of this. I had the hardest time doing a YouTube live for a month. I was doing just only sunsets and I would have scattered thoughts, but now we're treating this more like a video, and I'm getting better at that. I know I'm not great, but that's what Captured by CK is about, because you're on this journey with me. You get to see, excuse me, you get to see what works and what doesn't work. So, but let's go back to YouTube for a moment, because it set the foundation for everything else. Before the experiment, I rushed videos, rambled, and hoped for the best. But YouTube forced me to slow down and think in chapters, not clips. Um, I had to respect the viewer's time, organize my thoughts, and deliver my clear value. And that discipline changed how I communicate everywhere, not just on YouTube. It's also what has made me feel comfortable about releasing these live videos, because before I really started focusing on what I was doing and understanding how to do these, the lives were horrible. But now you can get a lot out of this live, because you can also ask me questions. So if you have any questions, be sure and put them in the comments section. And if you're not joining this live, if you're joining this later, I'll answer those questions either way. But YouTube pushed me to tell better stories instead of just sharing tips. I had to open with a strong hook, build tension, and clearly explain my reasoning. I learned to frame problems before giving solutions. I started thinking in systems instead of random advice. Even my editing improved because I had to keep paying attention over several minutes instead of just a few seconds of short form platforms. So that really helped my editing, and now I'm a lot quicker because of it. Explaining my photography on YouTube made me more intentional behind the camera. And I know someone just joined. How you doing? Good to see you. I had to articulate why I had to choose a lens, a composition, or a lighting setup. That forced me to think before shooting instead of just reacting. Over time, my images got stronger because my decisions were more clear. Teaching others actually made me a better photographer because I was explaining what I was doing. I didn't fully expect that at the start of the experiment. Like cilantro. Oh. Um, after YouTube, moving to TikTok felt like stepping into a completely different world, and that's what you'll experience too. Every platform is very different than the other one, but each one is important, and you'll learn a different skill on each platform. Everything moved faster. There was no room for long explanations or perfect planning. TikTok rewarded speed and curiosity and constant testing. If something didn't work, I had to pivot immediately. And that pressure was uncomfortable at first, but it sharpened my instincts and made me more adaptable. Now with TikTok, you can you can post 4, 5, up to 10 times a day, so it's not as important. And what I noticed is the more I posted, the more views I got. And if you combine all those views, it got to be a pretty sizable amount. I still don't have a lot of followers on TikTok, and I'm trying to get to 50 so I can go live there. But right now, TikTok taught me to stop overthinking and start experimenting. I learned a lot, launch ideas quickly and watch the response and kind of iterate from there. Failure became normal instead of embarrassing, especially on TikTok, because I am not a great TikTok um, videographer, creator. Some videos barely got any views, and that was fine because others got a lot. The platform trained me to move fast, trust my instincts, and treat every post as a learning opportunity rather than a performance. So that was important. So if you're just joining us, and I really encourage you to go back and watch this whole video, because while I'm doing it, I'll be doing a whole week series on the 5 month experiment. It's some great information. TikTok made me make decisions faster than I had before. I couldn't script everything perfectly, which was fine. So I learned to trust my instincts and kind of go with the flow. I tested ideas quickly, watched the response, and adjusted the next day because I wanted to learn every day. I was trying to grow the platform as quickly as possible. The rhythm trained my brain to kind of move with more confidence, less hesitation, and more curiosity about what might actually work instead of waiting for permission to post. And that was very helpful. It's probably what's helped me do my YouTube lives a little more fluidly. But it TikTok stopped feeling personal and started feeling useful. Some videos barely moved while others surprised me, and every result taught me something, and some taught me a lot. I learned to separate my ego from my output, because what we're really trying to do is learn from each post and ask what the platform is telling us. Instead of assuming we did something wrong, we just think about what we learned from that post. And that's a great way to look at it. But at the end of December, I shifted out of TikTok and into LinkedIn. And LinkedIn was a stark contrast that couldn't be more real, more real, because suddenly speed mattered far less and conversations mattered far more. So on LinkedIn, the conversation was what was important. It wasn't about hooks alone anymore. It was about tone and trust and how I showed up for replies after I posted, instead of disappearing the moment the video went live. And this is especially important if you have your own company, and LinkedIn is an important, if it's a service business, excuse me, if it's a service business or something where you're trying to get traction on LinkedIn, what you realize is that one meaningful reply can be more valuable than 1,000 views on LinkedIn, because growth happens in the comment thread, not just on the post. And if people feel heard, they stay. If they feel ignored, they keep scrolling. That changed how I treated every piece of content I went out there. I stopped thinking of the post as performances and started thinking of them as invitations. Instead of trying to impress, I tried to be approachable. And that really changed how I got views on LinkedIn. I asked simple questions, responded quickly, and kept replies short so conversations could keep flowing naturally without feeling heavy or exhausted for anyone involved. I would ask open ended questions, I would ask one word questions, things that they could answer quickly to keep the conversations going. It was probably one of the harder platforms that I did. I thought that TikTok was going to be the hardest, but keeping the conversation going on LinkedIn is extremely hard, but it's also extremely important with my real estate media company. So the biggest shift was treating the comments like the main event. That was a foreign concept to me. I scheduled time after every post to stay and answer questions, respond thoughtfully, and ask one follow-up question in each reply. But it's really important that if you are posting on LinkedIn, that you stay and answer follow-up questions or answer all of the comments. And if you're not posting it yourself, if you're relying on a program to post it, then go back at a certain time each day and answer questions so you can address all of those comments. Spend like 10 minutes a day. And if you're so new, you're not getting any comments, then think about what you want to talk about, what you want to learn about, what your video's about, what your channel's about, and leave questions on a account that's like yours. It will help the algorithm understand where to place your videos. But each platform trained a different muscle. YouTube sharpened my clarity, TikTok sharpened my speed, LinkedIn sharpened my conversation skills, and together they made me a better creator across every platform, even the ones I wasn't exactly focused on at the time. So the main idea, the real reason for this experiment isn't growth or hacks on the algorithm. It's about your identity. You want to understand where you truly belong as a creator. This exercise will help you determine what platform you need to focus on, where your voice lands best, and where you can build something meaningful that feels natural instead of a forced performance. So at the end of 5 months, you'll know which platform actually feels like home, not where you think it should be, but where you genuinely enjoy showing up. And that's important, creating and interacting with people that resonate with your work. Now, if at the end of 5 months you still don't know, then you have a choice. You can focus on one platform, but at least you'll know that platform better. Um, or you can go back and redo each platform, knowing just a little bit more than when you started last time. So that's kind of the 5 month strategy. And if you guys don't have any questions, I think we're gonna call it a day. So in the chat, just give me a one word answer. If you think YouTube is what you want for clarity, if you think TikTok is what you want for speed, or if you think LinkedIn is what you want for conversation, Instagram if you want visuals, or Facebook if you want local trust. Let me know which one you think you're going to focus on. And maybe next month we can talk about that platform, or not next week we can talk about that platform. I'll be going to Hawaii February 2nd through the 18th, and I'll be doing a couple of my lives there from Hawaii. So look forward to that. But until then, thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, at the end of the day, it's not about the algorithms. It's about becoming a better creator. One platform per month is just the tool. Your growth is the real result. And that's where this 5 month strategy comes in. Wherever you are as a creator in your journey, keep going. Stay curious, stay consistent, and remember the simple truth: one platform first beats posting everywhere. And I hope that's helpful. If there's another topic you guys want to cover, let me know that too. But we're going to conclude this live. So thanks so much. We'll talk to you very soon. I'm Chris with Capture by CK, real estate, nature, and wildlife photography in Tampa Bay. Have a great one. We'll see ya. Bye bye.